Good morning, students.
And you?
Hello.
To you.
Not at all.
Can you able to see the module 2?
Yeah, I'm able to see now.
So Agam is joining.
I just pinged him. He's not responding.
Okay, in the previous class, we discussed module 1, software quality assurance principles and testing methods. So our module 2 is software test management techniques. So here we are going to follow the testing life cycle stages, software testing, test managers roles and activities, and the team software test team roles and the responsibilities. Then we will discuss the test planning, how to form a test team, developing test plan reviews, organizing the review meetings, and documenting the minutes of the meeting of the test plan. Then we will discuss test case design strategies, how to make a strategy. Based on the strategy, how to create the test plan, test cases. Then the second part, so we can divide the module into two major parts. So the first part deals with test management activities. The second part, we are going to discuss about the black box approach and white box approaches and how the test execution can be conducted. In black box approach, we will discuss the random testing methods, equivalence class partitioning, and boundary value analysis testing methods. In white box approach, we will discuss test adequacy criteria, coverage and control flow graphs, what is software path, loop testing, mutation testing techniques. In the last part, we will discuss test execution concepts based on building and test case, building and test case, life cycle of defect tracking, defect detection strategies and stages, defect detection methods, the types of defects and defect severity, defect analysis and prevention methods. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in the module 2. So the first topic in module 2 is software testing life cycle stages. Can you give me what are the stages we are following in software development life cycle? Already you might have studied software development life cycle, SDLC. The same way, now we are going to discuss about software testing life cycle, SDLC. Yeah, what are the stages we have in software development life cycle? Any idea?
Defining, designing, planning, developing.
Yeah.
We'll have testing. Yeah.
Typical stages like analysis, design, development, coding, and testing. By following those methods, you can find a number of models and methods. Can you give me some software development methods? Examples.
Waterfall and agile.
Yeah, waterfall model. What else?
Agile.
Yeah, agile techniques. Any other?
Kanban, extreme programming.
Yes, we have extreme programming techniques because we have more than thousands of methods in software development. And we often use the term methods and methodology. What is the main difference between method and methodology?
Set of processes or
Of processes. So methodology means the way of doing things. So within the methodology, we'll have a number of models. Models means the typical templates. So within take the methodology as object-oriented methodology. Within object-oriented methodology, we have a number of models like agile, extreme programming, Scrum, like that. The same way, if you take the typical sequential linear models, the same way we have hierarchical models, distributed models, networking technologies. So within networking, we have a number of models. So the methodology means we have broader framework. Within that, we'll have a number of methods. So if you take the software testing life cycle, based on software testing methods, say the software testing is the process to validate the outcome of software product by identifying the defects in the hidden defects and bugs in the software. So our aim is to find out the unexpected errors and bugs in our software process. So here, while creating the software testing process, we need to follow a systematic approach so that we can identify the hidden errors. So if you randomly do the testing, or if you go for random testing or mutation testing, we cannot cover the entire software, because each code of the software needs a different type which we follow to identify. So we need to follow the life cycle stages. So that's what we are seeing, the software testing life cycle stages. So we'll start from the inception stage, then we'll go for the processing, then we'll go for the evaluation state, then we'll find out the results, then we will document the content. Same as software development life cycle, they are following the stages like analysis, design, development, coding, testing. The same way in software testing life cycle also, we need to follow the typical life cycle stages. You take the software testing life cycle. Here we have the predefined. They are the typical or traditional life cycle stages proposed by the best practitioners and software testing people. Based on the stages, we can create our own new testing life cycle stages based on the software. Say if you are using creating a software for based on the domain. If it is a cloud-based domain, we can add some extra stages. If you are creating and going to do a testing process for IoT-based projects to ensure the security and to ensure the power saving and cost effectiveness, we can add some more steps. So these are the typical steps we need to follow. And based on the domain and application and the technology what we are going to use, we can add or delete some steps. The typical software testing lifecycle stages are: the first stage is requirement analysis, then test planning, test case development, test environment setup, test execution, and test closure. So the same as in a software development lifecycle, in a requirement analysis, we need to identify what are the major critical components of your project. Those components should be given high importance, so that we'll analyze each and every component and we'll create the corresponding test strategy for each component. Then according to the analysis, we'll go for the test planning. In planning, we'll create the test plans, test cases. In test case development, each and every test case for the modules will be created depending upon the code and depending upon the application. Then we'll have the test environment setup. So the environment may be an automated environment, or it may be a manual testing environment, or it may be on-site, maybe alpha testing or beta testing, or it may be mutation testing, or white box testing, or black box testing. According to the environment, the methods will be chosen. Then we will perform the actual test execution. Once the execution is done, we will create the software test documentation, and the changes need to be done in the software based on the bugs and errors found should be informed to the respective development team, and they need to update the, or they need to rectify or remove the bugs identified by the testing team. Once it is corrected, they will do the re-verification, or they will do the retesting. If the bugs are removed, then the test will be successfully, the test case is performed, it will be closed. So these are the typical life cycle stages we need to follow in a software testing life cycle. If you take the definition of software development life cycle, SDLC, it is a classification of individual activities executed through the software development process. So the development life cycle is having a number of stages, and we need to follow each and every step to perform the effective software testing. The SDLC includes various phases, and each phase has several activities which help the development team to design, create, deliver a high quality product. So these are the typical steps followed in SDLC. The same way in STLC, software testing life cycle, in order to the order of different activities executed throughout the software testing process. It consists of testing itself as many phases called STLC, and each activity is done to improve the quality of the software product. So we are performing a set of activities in the software testing based on the stages, and our total aim is to ensure the quality of our software. The diagram shows you a clear difference between the software development life cycle and the software testing life cycle. So in eliminating the waste by aligning the STLC and SDLC. So while performing the testing life cycle, it should be aligned with the software development life cycle. Then only we can avoid the unnecessary steps. Say if your software is following only, if you are using component based development, or if you are using a rapid application development, the steps followed in a rapid application development, the time and all those things will be different from typical models. So according to how much time and what are the objectives we fixed in the software development life cycle, we have to fix the software testing life cycle. Here in SDLC, we have requirements analysis, then we have design, development, one minute.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
In typical software development lifecycle, we have a requirements analysis. Correspondingly, in a SDLC, we have requirement specification review and project timeline review. Meeting should be conducted based on the software testing requirements. The PPT screen is readable to you. Is it visible?
Yes,
How
ma'am.
class through mobile or through laptop?
Through laptop only.
Okay, the screen is fit to the window.
No, ma'am. It's in the SDLC to SDLC comparison.
No, what I am asking is, can you able to read the PPT slide?
Yeah. I can. We are able to. Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, the screen is visible to you all. PPT screen.
It's loading. Ma'am. Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, if you take the typical life cycle stages of SDLC and STLC, the screen is visible to you. Shall we continue?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yeah, can you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in SDLC, we have the stages like requirements, design, development, testing, and maintenance stages. The same way in a testing life cycle also, we have the typical stages like requirement specification reviews. First, we need to identify in software testing what are the requirements we need, and we have to conduct the review meetings, and we have to finalize the software testing requirements and the timeline, how much time we need to perform this each and every test case, and each and every module should be fixed through the review meetings. And then we will create a detailed test plan and test cases. In the development stage, we'll create the test plans and test cases based on the modules identified for testing. Then we'll create the test plan sign off. So we'll make an agreement if it is given to third party for testing, the agreement should be created. They used to say the software agreement testing plan. Then they will start with unit testing. Each and every module will be tested by making use of the test plans and test cases. Then during the actual, the next step is the test execution will be performed. It may be manual testing or automated testing. Then the bugs reporting and retesting should be done. Based on the errors and bugs identified during the test process, we'll create an software testing report, and based on the report, the retesting should be performed. Then we'll perform the final test report and track users' feedback. Users' feedback will be collected. Once the testing is done, alpha testing, beta testing will be given to the end users for getting the feedback. The test feedback, users' feedback will be collected. Then the test plan updates and the automated scripts updates will be generated for future. If the same kind of error occurs again in some other site or some other module, so that the important critical scripts related with the project will be documented, so that automatically the system can upgrade or it can rectify the future errors. So these are the steps we need to, life cycle stages we need to follow in between software development life cycle and software testing life cycle stages. The next diagram gives you a clear idea what are the major activities we are performing. The flow graph. From the flow graph, we can identify in the software development life cycle, we'll have the requirements collection, then feasibility study, then create the design. The design may be high level design based on the modules. Here, the design purpose, we may use flow charts or UML diagrams or data flow diagrams. If it is, if you need a low-level design for the components, the corresponding user interface design, all those things will be identified. Based on the design, we'll go for coding, then testing will be performed. So during this testing only, we are going to follow these steps. Once the testing is over, we will install the software and the maintenance activities will be taken into care. In a software testing life cycle, here this based on the SDLC, while performing the testing, we need to carry out these steps. What are the steps we are following? First, we will study the system. Based on that, we'll get the requirements. We will check whether the requirements implemented in the project is matching with the requirements identified during the software development. So the requirements stated here should match with the testing requirements. Then you will write the test plan. Based on the test plan, we'll create the test cases. While creating the test case, we'll follow the steps like identify all possible test scenarios, various test scenarios like boundary value analysis or looping structures, flow graph, dynamic concurrency, all those things will be taken into consideration. Then write the test cases, review the test cases, fix the review comments, and create the test case approval. Once the test case approval is done, store it in the repository. So these are the steps should be followed in test case. The major activity in software testing is based on test cases. And n number of test cases form a test plan, and a test plan, collection of test plans based on each module, we get the test strategy. Then the next step is create the traceability matrix. Based on the test cases, we will list out the number of errors and bugs. and the traceability matrix will be generated based on the nature of the software bugs. Then once the errors are found, the errors need to be rectified. That will be performed by using test execution. Test execution will identify the errors and bugs. Then we will create the defect tracking. Any other major defects are hidden in the software should be tracked through the defect tracking step. Then prepare the test execution report, TER, and send it to the customer. So based on the testing, we create the test execution report, the end result of the test execution, and restore the meeting. So once again, the errors found should be removed and modified or upgraded. Then once again, they will second iteration, they will check whether the errors found in the first iteration is removed or not. So these are the major activities carried out during software testing life cycle. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
So the next related topic to the module is skills required for software testing. So while if you want to become a software testing engineer or test lead or QA QC engineer or agile software testing team member, you should possess the following skills. Say the various skills needed are analytical and logical thinking. You should have the logical thinking. So like data structures, concepts, logical flow, like compiler design concepts, or the various other logical aspects, programming constructs, logic, how the complexity, time complexity, space complexity, all those logical aspects related to software programming should be known. And the ability to imagine business situations. So you have to think about the actual working environment, business scenario, and in that particular scenario, how your project is going to perform the task. Then the third skill is a sense of logical curiosity and creativity. If you have the curiosity and creativity, you can modify or upgrade the software by using latest concepts and latest trends and techniques. Your own idea, your own novel algorithm can be added in the software testing process so that the overall efficiency of the software can be improved. Then a global approach. You have to think about if the project is used throughout the world, what is the expectation from an US client, the same way how the Indian client expect how it fulfills the needs of different domains of the people, as well as from different geological customers. The ability to apply basic and fundamental knowledge. You should have the basic and fundamental knowledge about the programming and about the project, about the domain, and continue to learn. You should have the ability, or you should have the intention of continuous learning, so that you can, whatever idea you are coming across, whatever things you are learning through the magazines or journals, that also you can make use to create a new idea. And the respect for truth and intellectual integrity. So the intellectual integrity and ethics should be followed while creating any software testing as well as development. Planning, time management skills. So you have to make and create a complete plan, software testing plan, and you have to try to complete the process within the stipulated time. Time management plays an important role, and effective communication skills. So these are the major skills expected from any software testing person. And why we need software testing means the software testing is really required to point out the defects and errors in the software, and the customer's reliability and satisfaction is based on the software testing end output. The quality of the product can be ensured based on the software testing, and gaining the confidence from the end users, customers, and reaching a global market can be assured through software testing and certification. Effective performance of your software can be expected through software testing, should not result into any failures. In future, your software will not will not shut down, or it will not create any major issues and problems, and very expensive in the future or in the later stages of the development. So if you do the testing in the initial stage or during the before releasing the product, the cost and the time and energy what we are spending, that will be very less. Once the software is delivered to the end users, if they come across the problems, then at that time rectifying all those problems is a tedious task. The total brand name, the name of the software completely spoiled. Even if it works effectively after rectifying, once it is delivered to the end users, once again they will not be in a position to buy the. Once they started using, and if they come across a number of problems with the particular software, once it is delivered to the end user, and the opinion and feedback of the end users are already spreaded and collected with a large amount of errors. If you rectify and if you release an advanced version also, once again the same people or the new customers will not, they don't want to, they will hesitate to use your software product. So before releasing or in the early stage of your software development itself, we should perform the software testing so that we can rectify major defect. Cost, time, energy, everything can be saved. It is required to stay in the business. If you want to stay, if your product should be available, and if you want to stay in the industry IT market, and you should go through the software testing, and you have to follow the standard certification and standardization process. So these are the some of the points we should remember why we need software testing. The next topic is test management. We were talking about test plan, test strategy, test cases. So and our topic unit module 2 is test management. So what are the major activities or what are the major concepts we need to know about test management means? So you will start with a new software product, and it will be assigned for software testing. What we will do, we will perform the software testing, and we will try to find out the errors and bugs. And if the software is a usable one, user-friendly one, we have to give the test team has to assure whether it can be released in the market, whether it is accepted or rejected, or need modification or need to upgrade. All those things should be given by the test management team. Then whatever the errors and bugs found in the software development should be fixed, and it should be reworked. Again, the retesting will be done. Then it will be closed. So if you take if any error is found in your software during the defect life cycle, we need to, the defect has to be assigned to the respective programmer. Again, they will try to rectify and modify, upgrade the software content so that the errors found during the software testing is eliminated. Once it is eliminated, then it will go for retesting, and if there are no errors, again it will be released for the end users. Then what is a test management means? What is a configuration management? We used to say the term as CM. Configuration management is a system engineering process for establishing and maintaining consistency of software products performance. So your software product should give consistent performance in terms of functional, physical attributes with the requirements, design, operational information throughout its life cycle. So then only your software is created as per the given configuration. And why the software configuration and test management is important means it facilitates the ability to communicate status of documents and code as well as changes that have been made to the software. So if you are giving some configuration for a particular software product, all those configuration should be available in the software once it is released as an end product. High quality of the software that has been tested and used makes it reusable. asset and saves development cost. So the quality and high quality of any software is ensured through its specification and through its configuration. Increased effectiveness, stability, and control by improving the visibility and tracking can be ensured. The ability to define and enforce formal policies and procedures that govern asset identification, status monitoring, and auditing can be ensured through the test management process. So, and to understand better what is test strategy and test plan and test management. So, the test strategy is a high-level document describing the way testing is going to be carried out. The overall organization test strategy, it defines the project's test strategy. And within test strategy, we'll create a number of documents and based on the software requirement specification and describing scope of testing and activities to be performed. So the cost, time, number of people, duration, everything will be fixed in the strategy. Based on the strategy, we will create a number of test plans by dividing the time, by allocating resources, allocating money, number of people to each and every test plan. In the module 1 also, we discussed already the levels of software testing. So if you take the levels of software testing, a level of the software testing process where individual units, components of your software system are tested. In software testing, each and every component should be tested individually. Then we go for integration testing. Then all the components are integrated together. Then we will go for system testing. Based on the system testing, the complete system will be tested based on its performance. Then we will go for acceptance testing. Acceptance testing is performed based on alpha beta testing and user friendly and based on stress, load, all those testing methods. The major difference between software development lifecycle and software testing lifecycle is shown in the diagram. We can see easily we can identify the major steps. In SDLC, we have requirements, analysis, design, build, test, deployment, and maintenance stages. In case of software testing lifecycle stages, you can find the major steps like requirements, design, review. We'll directly start with, we have the testing in the development lifecycle stage. From here, it's like function. It is your major main program. From the main program, you have a function called a test. While executing this particular phase, the corresponding function will be called. So here, while executing test, we are going to the testing process. In the testing process, we have a number of stages like requirements, design, review, test planning, test design, test environment setup, test execution, and test reporting. Any doubt in this particular concept?
No.
Have you gone through the first module? Any doubt in the first module?
Yes, ma'am. No doubts.
So the next topic is method of software testing. So which method or what is the systematic approach to perform software testing means? We will choose. We have two broad major types of testing like white box testing and black box testing. White box testing, to perform that, you should be a programmer or you should be expert in the particular hardware software programming constructs. And if you want to perform a black box testing, any end user can perform black box testing by giving some input and checking the output. In both the white box and black box, we have a number of methods. And based on the type of project or the technology used in your project, we'll go for the corresponding. Say if my project is based on cloud-based, so I will go for cloud-based testing methods, which will support for cloud-based components. If my project is a purely networking-based project, I will go for an testing method which supports for all the security layer, processing layer, transport layer components. So based on the type of project and the domain of project, we'll choose a particular method. Then we'll go for gray box testing. And during each testing, each method, what are the major attributes we are expecting from the particular method? While choosing any method, that method should have the following attributes. It should be a reliable method. It should have the terms and features for scalability, portability, reusability, and usability. So these are the parameters or attributes we should take into consideration while choosing any effective method for your software testing. The next topic is called forming and test team. So if you take any software testing team, a typical team or the teams which are followed in big organizations like TCS, Accenture or anything, there will be a quality assurance lead, QA lead, and team lead, below the quality QA lead will have team lead. Below the team lead, there will be a number of test engineers. Some engineers may be very strong in usability test. So they will be given the usability test components for testing. And we'll have manual test engineers, automated test engineers. If you are using processing layer, that the processing layer, we need to go for a number of iterations, or if you want to repeat, or we want to find out the standard values, scalability, and other throughput operations. Those components can be tested using automated testing tools. Some features we can go for manual testing methods. And to check the usability, user friendliness, user interface, and other things, the domain experts with the usability testing concepts that will be given to the usability test engineers. So under test lead, we'll have test engineer, manual test engineer, automated test engineers. Once they perform the actual testing process, the result will be documented by network test engineer. So the network test engineer will document and he will check it with the actual networking environment. Below him, there will be a test library and configuration specialist. And below that, we'll have a number of testers. So this will be a typical model of forming a test team. Or based on the, if the project is very small, if it is a student project or any minor major project, seed project, in that case, we can go for a quality assurance lead. Below the lead, we'll have manual test engineer and automated test engineer. The components we like to test with the automated tools will be given to him. The manual testing process will be carried out by the manual test engineer. And once they perform the actual process, and the test will be executed. So any doubt with how we are forming the testing team?
No.
So within the software testing team, we are expecting some deliverables from the software testing team. So what are the deliverables or the output from the testing team means? They should come out with a test plan. They should create a test design, and they should be in a position to execute the test. So the test plan should perform the following activities like analysis, creating a strategy, creating a test plan, identifying the tools and techniques, and identifying the other functional and non-functional requirements for carrying out the test plan. The same way, the test design will follow the following activities, like they will create the test cases. So the test design, they will create a number of test cases, and they will have create this corresponding scripts and scenarios and the environment, in which environment we are going to carry out the process. And in the actual test execution, once the execution testing is done, we need to generate the test report, defect tracking, report writing for the test, and defect analysis. These are the documents. Once the testing is performed, these are the documents we need to give it to the actual. Once the testing is over, the document should be handed over to the software development team. The next topic is called test management activities. While performing the test management, how the flow of actions carried out among various components. Say the first step is create test cases and store in the test library. First, we need to identify the test strategy, test plan, then test cases. A number of test cases will be created and the library will be generated. Then it will go to group test into test sets. Groups of test cases will be collected and the test sets will be formed so that it can be given to each team. Some test cases will be given to manual testing team. Some test cases will be given to automated testing team. Some will be given to usability test team. And in each test case, you'll have define releases, record the results, execute the test, and define the configuration. Each test will have its own results, how we are going to execute the actual testing process, the configuration, all those components should be available. So to differentiate the major differences between what is test plan, test strategy, test scenario, and test cases, as we already discussed in module 1, we know very well test strategy. The test strategy is an outline of that describes the testing approach of the software development cycle. So overall approach or the overall methodology will be stated clearly in the test strategy. It is created to inform project managers, testers, developers about some key issues of the testing process. So the major issues like cost factor, time factor, resources, all those things, the policies will be usually the test strategy is the top level management activity. Then you will create the test plan. A plan is a detailed document that outlines the test strategy, test objectives, resources like manpower, software, hardware configuration required for the testing, test schedule, estimation, and test deliverables. In each scenario, test scenario, it is any functionality that can be tested. It is also called test condition or test possibility. As a tester, you may put yourself in the end user's shoes and figure out the real world scenarios and use cases of the application under test. So while performing the software testing, we have to consider the actual scenario. Say if my project is ATM machine, if the ATM machine is placed in the actual end user's place, say if your ATM machine is placed in near a hospital, so different kinds of people will come to the hospital and they may access the ATM machine. We have to think the scenario, how many people will come, how much money we have to keep, whether the system should have only a deposit option or a withdrawal option, change. So because there are different varieties of ATM machines. Some machines will give only limited facilities. Some machines will have auto debit, cardless transaction, debit, credit, and creating a mini statement, applying loan. So many options will be available in advanced ATM systems. So we have to think about the actual scenario where your system is going to be placed and how it is going to perform and provide the services to the end users. And if you take the test case, a test case is a document which has a set of test data, preconditions, expected results, and post conditions developed for a particular test scenario. So in each test case is created based on the code or based on the unit or component of your project, and it is used to test the particular component. So any doubt with respect to the major concepts, test strategy, plan, scenario, and test case?
No.
So from this also we can see the hierarchy of the various terms. Say the test policy, it is based on the policy only we will create the test strategy. Based on that only we will create the test plan. The test policy and strategies in organization level, we will take the complete organization. If the project is for some particular bank, Indian bank, the policies, norms, rules and regulations of Indian bank will be taken into consideration. Because the Indian bank is a nationalized bank, we will consider those policies. If the project is created for ICICI Bank, it is a private bank. The policies, rules and regulations of the private bank will be followed. So the organization level, based on the organizational terms and conditions, we will create the test policy and test strategy. And based on the test strategy only, we'll create the test plan. Each test plan will have a number of subdivisions, like some test plan may deal with acceptance, some test plan may deal with the system testing, some test plan may deal with integration testing, some may deal with component or unit testing level. So while performing any software testing and carrying out the software testing life cycle, these are the any test case and test plan will have its own major terms or keywords, or we can say the unique words which are associated with the testing process. So if you take the test plan, we use the following terms in the documentation, like a test plan identifier. So the identifier, it is a unique key or ID that differentiates one test plan from another test plan, like USN number. And we'll have introduction part in the test plan. We'll give some introduction for what purpose we are writing the test plan. And it will have the test items. What are the components we are going to test and features to be tested? What are the features, whether it is a iterative test or looping test or usability test or any technical aspect, security, and features not to be tested. So in the particular test plan, we are going to test only the boundary values, not mutation or not random testing or not constraints. The approach, which approach we are going to use, whether it is manual or automated or semi-structured, and item pass or fail criteria. So if the test plan is pass, what are the expected values? If these values are received, it is a failure. And test deliverables. Through the test, what are the outcomes we are getting? We are going to be expecting. Bug tracking process. If an error found in the test, how we can trace out the same kind of other bugs. How we can track where is the root cause. The particular bug may be because of some unexpected variable declared, or the constraints may be wrong. And the test environment setup. If the boundary or environment is not clearly stated, we may expect so many errors. So we have to fix the environment where the system is going to function. And team members' responsibilities. How many people we are going to assign for the test plan, and what is the responsibilities? Staffing and training needs. Whether we need any special training, and test schedule, how long, whether 1 month, 1 week, and risk and mitigation. If a risk identified, how we are going to eradicate. And approvals, who is the person responsible for approving the test plan. So these are the terms that should be associated with the while creating any test plan. These attributes, or these are the parameters that should be stated in the test plan, or we can say the elements of test plan. These are the various elements that should be there in any test plan. The same way in test case, each test case will have its own ID, scenario, whether it is a dynamic process or a static process. Test case description, what purpose we are carrying out the test, the steps, how many steps, 5 steps or 7 steps, and test data. What are the inputs we are going to give? What are the outputs we are going to retrieve? And expected result. If those results are attained, it is okay. If the unexpected results are retrieved, then we need to consider. Parameters, what are the parameters? Say in a function, we'll have a number of 15 parameters. We may not consider all the 15 parameters. We consider only major 5 or 6 parameters. And the actual result and environment information and other comments. So these are the elements of any test case. So any doubt with the key sections of test plan and test case?
No, ma'am.
So based on the topics what we discussed so far, they have given you some self-exercise questions. I think in the module 1 also I mentioned you some assignment questions. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's for the same assignment questions, you can write the answers. In the Google Classroom, I will create an material please
Okay.
upload the assignments. As I told you already, based on module 1, there will be one assignment and one quiz. Based on module 2, you will be having one more assignment and quiz too. So some exercise questions they given you, what is software testing and why we need a software to be paused from testing phase. The key skills individual require. The skills, the key skills individual required to be best software tester. What are the processes involved in software testing? Techniques we use under verification process, different methods of testing and levels of testing. Levels of testing we discussed already, like unit testing, integration testing, system testing. Different methods of testing like white box testing, black box testing, basis for the testing, automated testing, manual testing. During verification, we'll use usability test, acceptance test. The same way, what is the name of your YouTube channel you are watching? So like that, they given you some self-assessment questions. So from this diagram, we can get the attributes. What are, if while creating any test plan, what are the attributes we need to consider? Means any test plan should have objective, scope of the plan should be clearly stated, the methodology used should be stated, the approach and assumptions. These are the assumptions. Say the X will take only these values, Y will take only these values. This is the boundary. This is minimum value. This is maximum value. Like that, we have to clearly state the assumptions and the risks associated with the test plan and migration plan or contingency plan associated with the test and the role and responsibility of the people associated with the testing. Schedule, how long, whether 1 month, 2 months, 10 days, and defect tracking. If any defect is found, how we can track, test environments, entry exit conditions, test automation. So if you want to, if the same steps is going to be followed in n number of iterations, you can go for automation, effort estimation, test deliverable, and templates, the various templates associated with the test plan. All those things should be considered while creating any test plan. The same way, while creating an test plan, we need to follow the following steps, like analyze the product. After analysis, you go for developing the strategy, then define the test objectives, plan test environment, then determine the deliverables, schedule the and estimate the how much time we need, how much cost we are going to spend, and define the test criteria and resource planning. So these are the points you should remember. And one more thing, the subject is, if you understood the concepts, what is what, we won't expect you to write the same typical definitions. The thing is, you have to understand and you can write the answers for any topic based on your understanding or based on your project or based on the given scenario, case study.
Okay.
The thing is, you have to understand what is what are the subheadings, what are the pages we need to follow. We will stop with this topic, okay? We'll have another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
You have any other class after this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next topic is develop a test plan review. So you know very well reviews in your final year, BTech final year also you might have review meetings, project review meetings, review 1, review 2, review 3, final review.
Yes, ma'am.
Internal exam, external exam. So like that, you will present your project before the team, project team. So that is called review meetings. In agile process also there will be daily there will be review meetings. So that is the specialty of agile testing as well as extreme programming. So how to create and review, how to conduct review meetings, and how to plan and develop test plan for reviews. So the various steps associated with the review plan is create the test scenario. So every review meeting will have its own objective, and the same thing we cannot review. Say if you are starting your project, in the project itself will have the initially will have a title you need to identify, the domain you need to identify. You have to go for literature review, the existing projects. Then you will find out the gaps and drawbacks in the existing project. Based on that, you will create your own proposed model. And for your proposed model and methodology techniques, that is more efficient than the existing one, you will identify the software hardware requirements. Then you will go for the diagrammatic design of your proposed model. Then you will go for implementation, then testing, and stating the results, publishing. So like that, there are some stages. So we'll create a project plan. Out of 6 months, the first 1 month maybe for analysis, second month for design, third month for implementation, fourth month for testing, fifth one for documentation. Like that, we will have some stages. So in each review meeting is based on the stages. Each review meeting will have its own scenario. Test scenario should be, it's based on the scenario, and will have its own test template. And a number of reports are associated with each review meeting. And the test cases will be focused in each review meeting. In review 1, they may focus on the unit testing test cases. In the review 3, they may focus on integration testing. In the review 5, they may focus on the system testing. Then we will have the test data, test plan, and what do we, these are the things we need to review in each meeting. So in each review meeting, the scenario should be clearly stated, the template should be ready, reports associated with the review meeting should be kept ready, the test cases we are going to discuss should be available, data associated with the test will be available, the test plans should be taken into consideration for review process. And each review meeting it will be carried out based on some checklist. Even in projects also, if you start your project the next semester or your PCL project, they will have some checklist, so that we can say whether the particular area is covered, the particular questions are answered. These are the things implemented in your project or not. So they will create a test plan review checklist. So based on the check plan review checklist, this is available, this is available, this is implemented, it's existing or not. So like that we will cross verify. And if you take the typical software test case review process, so there will be in the review process, there will be test lead. The test lead will the author will be presenting his review, or the person who is going to perform the testing is going to present his test plan to the reviewer. The reviewer will give his feedback to the test lead, and that will be given to the test lead for approval, and it will stores in the test case repository. So based on each review meeting, the review test report will be stored in the repository, or we can say the dictionary, or we can say that will be documented. And in each review meeting, satisfied the concrete correctness of the test case, and go through the review, the content, do the correction only if necessary. So if during the review meeting, the testing person, software tester, will present his test plan and test case to the reviewer. The reviewer will go through whether it's as per the norms or not, whether he is following the standards and systematic approach. Then he will send the CC to the test lead, and the person, once the test lead approves your test plan, then it will be stored in the repository or in the documentation process. And there will be review meeting 1, 2, 3 like that, and a review documentation will be maintained. The review documentation is based on the mistakes that will document the mistakes in the test cases, scenarios missing in the test case, wrong flow, maximum test coverage. So all those things will be tested by using the review process. So here also they're given you some self-assessment questions. Those questions may be useful for you to understand the concepts better. Say what is performance, what is stress and test loading. I list down 4 black box testing types. In black box testing, we have a number of types. What is SDLC? What are the different phases of software testing life cycle? What is regression testing, sanitary and smoke testing? What are the useful details contained under test plan? What is test case and test scenario? Key parameters of test case. So I will share you the PPT. You go through the content. So if you have any doubt, you ask me the next class. So we will continue the class. If I think tomorrow I have exam duty
Okay.
because BTech exams are going on now. So I have exam duty tomorrow morning. Again,
Okay.
22nd also afternoon I have exam duty. If I am free afternoon tomorrow or day after tomorrow morning, I will schedule you one more class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I will upload this material, PPT material in the Google Classroom, and assignment 1 also I will upload. We'll try to submit the answers within 10 days.
Okay.
Okay, how many of you attended a research retreat yesterday?
Day before yesterday I attended, ma'am. Yesterday I couldn't attend. I attended on Saturday.
Okay. Okay, shall we end any doubts? You ask me in the next class.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Ahmad, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I end the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure,
thank
sure.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.